Hi there, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to discuss about S3 bucket management. So in this one, we are going to discuss about lifecycle rules, replication rules, and inventory configuration. So basically the lifecycle rules is the rules that you want to define some actions on your Amazon S3 bucket to take during the object lifetime, such as transitioning objects to another storage class or archiving them or deleting them after a particular or any specified period of time. So we will also see the replication rules so that we can define on our S3 bucket during replications such as server-side encryption, replica ownership, and many other things that we can apply while replicating the objects from one bucket to another one. Then we have the inventory configuration. So in that we can generate a flat file listing of objects as well as the metadata. So these schedule reports can include all the objects in the bucket or can be limited to any shared prefix we can apply. So I will just directly move on to the hands-on. So, okay, let's move on to our this console, AWS console. Try to move on to the AWS S3. So you can see I have the list of buckets over here. So I will create a new bucket over here. Let's say my rules bucket one. So again, I'm creating in this my region and let all the things remain the same. Just create the bucket. So I have created one bucket, my rules bucket one. So here I will create one more bucket over here with the name my rules bucket two. So in order to see the application as well as the inventory configuration, we have to create two buckets. We can in different regions also we can create the bucket. We can with a different account also we can create the buckets, and then we can apply the replication rules, but we need to give the IAM users the permissions, the access rights we have to provide it. So those on the later stages when I will discuss about the IAM, that time we will see that how that cross region we can do the application and all. So let's move on to this bucket, that is my rules bucket one. So you can see the management tab over here. So we have lifecycle rules, replication rules, and the inventory configuration. So let's start with the lifecycle rules. So lifecycle rules, as I said earlier, it is related to the object lifetime. So let's say if I'm uploading one, let me upload some object in the bucket. Let's say I will upload some image file. Okay. So my file has been uploaded. Now I'll go to the management. So now you can see over here, create a lifecycle rule. So I can apply this rule on my bucket over here. Even we can make a lifecycle rule on a particular object also. You can see over here, lifecycle rule name. So I'm just writing over here, my rule one. You can define anything and limit the scope of this rule using one or more filters also we can apply, or this rule apply to all objects in the bucket. So I'm not applying any filter, I'm just choosing this rule apply to all the buckets. I acknowledge this rule will be applicable to all the objects in the bucket. Now here we have to choose it wisely over here, like whether we are transiting from one version to the another version, one version of the storage class to the another, like we have infrequent access, one zone. So depending upon that, you can see whatever option I will choose over here, it will show me the summary over here. Now let's say expire current version of objects. I totally want to delete it after certain period of time, let's say 30 days. So you can see over here, after 30 days, the objects will be getting expired. Now, if I remove this one, now transition current versions. So if you're having versioning enabled, so that also we can choose current versions or previous versions. So you can see transition current versions of the object. Now that is a standard infrequent access. We can select intelligent tiering or one zone infrequent access, Glacier, Glacier deep archive. Now, if you see over here, standard IA, that is long lived infrequent access data, 30 days minimum storage duration should be there. So you will be charged for minimum 30 days. Then intelligent tiering is there, long lived data with changing or unknown access patterns, 30 days minimum storage duration. And here also 30 days. Now, when we come to the Glacier over here, you can see long-term data archiving with retrieval times ranging from minutes to hours. So retrieval time is more. So in rest of the cases, it is the retrieval is quite it's just a few seconds. But in case of this Glacier and Glacier deep archive, you can see within 12 hours. And also if any data that is not being utilized at all, so we can push it directly to Glacier. So I'm just choosing the standard. Let's say I'm moving into the one zone. So I can just put it over here 30. So you can see object transition to one zone IA, and we can remove the transition also. So whatever you choose accordingly, it will show you the, again, you can add some more transition like after from one zone, I want to make it after 30 days, it should move over here. So you can see it is moving from intelligent tearing to the one zone infrequent access. Then again, I can add it over here to the Glacier. So this is how we can define a life cycle for the whole bucket objects, or we can define some prefix, or we can filter our objects accordingly. We can apply this life cycle rules. Once you choose all the transitions, then we can create the rule. So it will be shown on the under the life cycle rules. So in order to avoid any charges from the Amazon, you can just quit this one. Or if you're using this for free version, like 1 year free account, then you can apply this, and then you can check it under life cycle configuration. I haven't done it over here, so I will just show you my existing bucket over here. You can see in the management. So here also I haven't created. So you have to, because minimum 30 days charges will be uh, done by, like, you have to pay it from your account in order to do the transition. So make it, just in order to understand the concept, you can just make it and just delete it, but make it sure it doesn't keep on running, otherwise you'll be charged a lot in the billing. So let's see another option over here. So I'll go back to my bucket, my bucket one. So next thing that I'm going to show you is the replication rules. Now here, this is the application rules. So I will create a replication rule. Now replication requires versioning to be enabled for the source bucket. Right. So if versioning is not enabled, this application will not happen. Enable object versioning on this bucket to continue creating the replication rule. So I will enable the bucket versioning over here. Replication rule, my replication. So you can see it is being enabled. Source bucket is this one, my rules bucket, and this rule apply to all the objects. Now here in the destination, I will specify a bucket in another account, or choose a bucket in this account. You can choose it. So you have to put the account ID as well as the bucket name, and you have to choose the region, or by default it will pick up the region. So I'm choosing over here, choose a bucket in this account. So let's see. So I'm choosing this my bucket 2. So I will just also enable the versioning over here. So I have enabled the versioning. Choose a IAM role. You can create a new role over here. Rest, if you want the encryption to be replicated, you can choose this destination storage class. So these all are optional parameters that we can skip and click save. So you can see over here, replication rule has been created for this my rules bucket 1 source. This is the destination, rules bucket 2, in which I am going to copy the content from this replica of this to this one, or whether any encryption that also can be replicated. But if you see over here, the status is being enabled, destination priority 0, entire bucket same as the source, replica owner same as the source, replication time control I have been disabled this one. Now KMS encrypted objects do not replicate. So if any objects are being encrypted using KMS in the my rule bucket 1, then it will not be copied to this one. Replication modification synchronization disabled. So let's go to this one and let's select the rule over here. Now you can see the summary over here also. I will go to the action and edit this one, replication rules. So once again, you can see source bucket and all filter also you can apply over here. Role, you can see S3CR role has been created for the replication purpose. Here also you can choose if you want to replicate the objects that are being encrypted with AWS KMS. So I'm not choosing that one. Now here, another important thing why I came back to this section over here, you can see the replication time control. So replication time control replicates 99% of the new objects within 15 minutes and provides replication metrics and notifications. So additional fees will apply. By default, normally it will take like half an hour to get it replicated. It depends upon your objects also, number of objects also. And otherwise, if you choose this option within 15 minutes, Amazon guarantee that the whole bucket will be, the content will be getting replicated. So you can choose this option, but the charges are applying over here. Replication metrics and notifications, you can also configure your CloudWatch metrics, but again, the fees is being applicable. Delete marker application also you can do. Then, but the thing is that delete markers created by lifecycle rules are not replicated. That's another important thing that we need to take care. Replica modification synchronization. So if any modifications are there, so it will also be able to synchronize or not to that destination bucket. So we can choose this one. So these are optional parameters. Now, so my rule is being, I have made it in the my bucket over here. You can see in the management over here, the application rules over here. Now I will just go back to my bucket 2. You can see there is no data over here. It will take some time. Okay, we can just see the other options in the time being. So we can just configure our, under the management, we can configure our inventory configuration. Now this one is going to create a flat file list of our objects. So let's go to the create inventory management. So we can write over here, I bucket. So we can also define the scope, or we can current version only. So I'm just choosing over here current version. No need of choosing include all the version. Destination bucket, it is with this account. So I'm choosing my rules bucket 2 and destination bucket permission. So now how frequently you want your inventory configuration getting updated. So either you choose it daily or weekly. So we can choose it weekly, and the first report will be delivered within 48 hours. And we can choose the format over here: CSV, Apache, ORC, Apache, Parquet, whichever we want. We can choose that one over here. Then we can also set is whether the configuration will be enabled to publish inventory reports. By default it is enabled. Server side encryption, let it be disabled. Then now here, what are the fields that you want? These are again optional. So by default, few like name, size and all. If you want to multi-part upload was there, replication status, encryption, intelligent tearing, whichever you want, you can choose it over here. So by default few tags will be there that I will show you once we go to the edit mode. So I'm just going to create this. So for this bucket 1, it will create a inventory configuration in the bucket 2. Weekly, it will create a report that will show the objects and its metadata. Now, if I select this I bucket, you can see over here, I will go to the edit. This is the by default bucket policy is there. We will discuss in the later videos about the bucket policies and all. So it's not showing over here also. Let's go back to our bucket tree. As it was mentioned over there, it will take 48 hours to reflect your first report to be generated. And moreover, you can see replication haven't happened yet. It will take some time, 15 to 20 minutes. So I will just show you the example over here. So this was my bucket over here. You can see this is the image file that is being created, uploaded over here. So under the management, you can see there is a replication rule that says that sample rule enabled, and it is destination bucket is this one. So let's go to the destination bucket. So this is my destination bucket. So you can see this image file being replicated over here from my previous bucket, and it was done on 22 April. Once it is being done, until unless we modify some changes or we upload something new in that particular parent bucket, it will not do anything else. So it was last being sync on 22, and it has just copied that one file from this one, and it is a standard storage that we are using. Now talking about the inventory configuration, if I go to my this bucket over here, now you can see there is some hierarchical architecture is there. Like you can see, this is my bucket name, then the sample folder. Now you can see every day it is 22, 23, 24. It is creating one file in which it is saving the object details and the metadata. So let me open this one. So you can see manifest.json file is there. So I will just pick up this JSON file. Let me download it. So I will just open up with Notepad. So you can see over here, source bucket is this one, destination bucket, then version, creation timestamp, file format, file schema, files. So these were the options that I was talking about. So we can add it over here, the size, name, this is the key, this is the MD5 checksum is there. So it is automatically being created. So we can choose a frequency while creating the inventory configuration. So we should make it sure that there is not like quite frequent inventory configurations getting copied. You can see this frequency is daily, so you can modify this one also. So I'll just go back to my edit, so I can choose over here frequency weekly, and you can see I can choose the last modified storage class, everything, whatever size you want to show it. So it will take again 48 hours to be copied. So today is 24, maybe by today's end of the day, 25th, it will just create one inventory configuration file, the CSV file over here. You can see sample, today's is not there. So you can see over here data, it is being in the form of csv.gz. So 23, 22, 24 is available, and the size is also available over here, the size of the file. So we will check our bucket now. So this was my bucket in which I have uploaded my image, and let's see the bucket 2. Still it's not being done. It takes some time. So after 15-20 minutes it will be uploaded. It will be replicated basically. So any bucket in which you are applying the lifecycle rules, you can check it from here, moving the transitioning the objects from one storage to the another storage classes. Replication, you can check it over here. You can have multiple replication rules over here. Then inventory configuration. So these are the three important things in the management. I hope you enjoyed the session. So in the next session, we will talk about the properties. We will talk about a little bit about the permissions also. Properties, most of the things I have covered in the first session. You can watch my video. That's the first video in which I have talked about the versioning and all, encryption and all. So we will be discussing more about the permissions, but before that, I would like to discuss the IAM. Then that time, because most of the people have confusion related the policies, which policy to apply, whether to use bucket policy or IAM user policies. So we will have a comparison between them in the upcoming videos. Please do like, subscribe, and share my channel. Thank you.